Order! This court is now in session. Today we are here to address the tragic case of the alleged murder of 5 years old child. Counsel for the prosecution, before we proceed, I would like to remind everyone present in this courtroom to maintain decorum and respect the proceeding of this court. You may begin with your opening statement.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen, I will introduce myself. My name is Michael. I will be your prosecutor for this trial. Today, we are gathered here for a ferocious tragedy caused by the defendant. This horrible accident caused by a certain mother that unalived her own child. Your Honor, the evidence I present to you that the defendant unalived her own child with bloodthirst in her mind. The child beating, torturement of the child, and the homicide of a child. We will show the defendant actions is not only intentional, but the intent of unaliving the child. The father of the family has suffered great loss of a child and hope. Under Chapter 338 of the Penal Code, it is wrong to do this type of monstrosities. We ask the court to hold the defendant accountable for her actions and send a clear message that homicide of a child of your own will not be tolerable in our country. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you for the explanation. Lawyer, you may begin with your statement.
Thank you, Your Honor. So let me introduce myself first. My name is Nabil, a lawyer from the UPN Veteran Jakarta Law Firm, who currently works at the Child Protection and Women's Empowerment Agency. Allow me to present the results of my research regarding the perpetrator, Your Honor. With respect, Your Honor, today I appear as the lawyer for the defendant who is currently before you. In my defense, I will highlight the relevant facts and provide arguments supporting the claim that the defendant, a mother diagnosed with schizophrenia, was not a conscious perpetrator of the crime, but rather a victim of an unstable mental health condition. I ask the honorable panel of judges to listen carefully and carefully consider all the arguments we put forward. My goal is not to eliminate wrongdoing, but to ensure justice in line with legal principles and human values. Thank you, Your Majesty, for the attention Your Majesty has given to this trial. I'm ready to present or defend arguments with integrity and honesty. So first, we know that the perpetrator has a disturbed mental health condition. Therefore, the perpetrator's mental health must be the main focus. Schizophrenia is a serious disorder that can interfere with a person's ability to understand reality and make rational decisions. This results in the actions carried out by the perpetrator not being fully controlled or properly understood. Second, the perpetrator may not be fully aware of his actions. His unstable mental condition affects his ability to accept the consequences of his actions. These actions are not the result of malicious intent or unconscious intentions, but rather a response to an unstable mental condition. Third, it is important to realize that there is no malicious intent on the part of the perpetrator. In an unstable mental condition, the perpetrator may not have the intention to harm a child. The perpetrator is more a victim of her own illness than a conscious perpetrator of the crime. It should be remembered that people with mental disorders, such as schizophrenia, cannot be persecuted criminally because, in accordance with Article 44 of the Criminal Code, they are included in the list of people who cannot be held criminally responsible. Instead, what can be punished is the treatment and rehabilitation process. So in my opinion, rehabilitation is the right and effective solution. In closing, I would like to emphasize that this case is not only a matter of law, but also a matter of true humanity and justice. The serious mental health conditions suffered by the perpetrator cannot be ignored in this process. What is clear that the perpetrator's actions were not the result of evil intentions, but rather as a response to an unstable mental condition. Therefore, I ask the court to consider the arguments I have presented and take more merciful and rehabilitative steps in handling this case. I hope that the decision taken by the court can provide the fairest and most humane solution for all parties involved in this case. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the explanation, Defense Counsel Nabil. Could you provide evidence to support your claim regarding the defendant's schizophrenia? I would like to truly examine the basis of your argument to ensure a fair and just trial.
Your Honor, I would like to call upon an expert witness to testify, providing details insight into the defendant's mental health condition.
Okay, please proceed with the oath and repeat after me. I swear by the Almighty God
I swear by the Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give
that the evidence I shall give
shall be the truth, the whole
shall
truth,
be the truth, the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
Okay, you may
Okay.
give your statement.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. First of all, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Alivio, a psychologist from the UPN Psychological Center, currently working under the Child Protection and the Women's Informant Service. Allow me to present my research findings on the perpetrator, or in this case, I would like to call her as the offender, Your Honor. The day after the accident, I was asked to examine the psychological condition of the offender, and what I found was an indication of schizophrenia in the offender. I spent 2.5 hours with the offender to ensure that she was indeed schizophrenic. Even before attending this honorable courtroom, I once again cited the offender and once again examined her condition. During the examination, she kept saying that her son had gone far away, repeating the phrase, "My child has gone far away." Your Honor, I regret the failure to detect early cases of the psychiatric disorders, even though this is very important and crucial and is the responsibility of all of us. As explained in Law Number 18 of 2014 on mental health, based on indications of schizophrenia, the offender experienced emotional disturbance, delusions, and hallucinations. So I can conclude here that what the offender has done is an act outside of his consciousness. If there is any part of is not clear or unclear, you may ask me, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you for the explanation, expert witness. Your explanation is all clear.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Your Honor, but I have the evidence to back my statement up. On the 4th of April, there are noises and cries heard from the neighbor's house. And on that day, the husband is going to work. The child is being tortured in there. We see that the defendant have no mercy on giving the child life. Thank you, Your Honor.
Allow me to delve deeper. Do you have detailed data and records supporting your findings? I also want to know if there are any other factors that may influence the interpretation of these psychological findings.
Okay, yes, thank you, Your Honor. I am 100% confident in my research or my findings stating that the offender is suspected of having schizophrenia, and I have a document containing the data of my research. Here's the copy of the document, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Witness Olivio, for the detailed explanation. I request a brief recess of 2 to 5 minutes to review the contents of the research document. It is imperative for the court to truly examine the evidence presented before proceeding further. Okay, thanks for your statement. After carefully considering the evidence and testimonies presented before this court, and in accordance with the relevant laws, it is clear that the defendant, SNF, was indeed suffering from schizophrenia at the time of the incident. Therefore, pursuant to the chapter of 44 of the Penal Code, which states that individuals who commit criminal acts while suffering from a mental disorder shall not be held criminally liable This court finds the defendant SNF not guilty by reason of insanity. Furthermore, I order that the defendant be remanded to a psychiatric facility for evaluation and treatment. It is imperative that she receives the necessary medical attention to address her mental health condition and prevent any future harm.
Based on the evidence presented, the defendant is hereby sentenced to mandatory rehabilitation. In conclusion, this session is closed.